Hello everyone and welcome to the next in our series of daily origami for YouTube. Today we're going to continue with our theme of looking at some traditional origami, and today we're going to make a horse with a knight riding on it. And this particular origami kind of takes the paparita, which is a little tiny like baby bird kind of origami, which you guys all might know from Heavy Rain. You kind of take that shape and manipulate it in a couple different ways to make both a horse and then also to make the knight. So kind of knowing that particular origami is helpful. You do need two pieces of paper for this. Now one of them needs to be 15 by 15 centimeters. And then the other is 10.5 by 10.5 centimeters. Now you can make it bigger, of course, you just need to make sure that both of these pieces are proportionately bigger than the other. Essentially what you wind up getting is, I have my piece of paper here that's the 15 by 15 centimeter, and if I do a blint space, which is where we fold all the centers into the middle, then I should get a piece in the middle that is this size, which is 10.5 by 10.5. So if you're starting off with a larger piece of paper and you're not really sure what the dimension should be for this piece of paper, if you first start with your paper by folding it in half and then in half the other way, and this is going to be the horse's piece of paper, go ahead and fold all of these sides into the center. And then this piece that you see here, the shape of this blint space, is going to be the size that you need to make the knight's paper. So you can just kind of lay it on top of there and cut it down or measure it and know from there the size you need. In my case, it is 10.5 by 10.5 centimeters. So I'm going to put the little piece for the knight to the side. I've got my horse piece of paper here already folded in the blint space, which is what we need it to be. Now I want to just go ahead and make sure that I've got all of my creases kind of marked off here, which I should. I've got going both this way and this way, so everything is going the way we need it to. Now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to fold each of the tips to the center. Just be careful you don't snag on any of these pockets. It's a really easy place to accidentally tear something. So I've got that all folded in like this. So flip it over for a second here, and what we want to do is take the tips and fold them into the center, like we're kind of making it even smaller again. Get that crease marked off and then open it up. Keep it all flat there in the middle. So we folded all these flaps down and opened them up, and we're going to turn it over. You should have all the creases kind of to make this a little easier. What we're going to do is open up 3 of those 4 flaps. If I pinch on the sides here, keeping the middle down and the top, these sides up, I could put some pressure in to bring these 2 to the middle. Now this back part I want to make sure that I pop that out too, actually, because I want that to come over. So I get these 2 to come in, this part to come out down at the bottom. And then if we just put a little pressure right there on that side, we can lay these arms together and then push this out, you get the finished piece that you need. So that's kind of the image you might be familiar with from Heavy Rain. I'm going to take this bottom part and just kind of swivel it all the way over so that it makes a nice little square area down here at the bottom. Then I'm going to take and fold this flap that you see here, even with this crease that's right above it. So I'm going to fold this part up to that. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well. So we've got the front feet there of the horse. Now I'm going to take the back feet, and just to make sure that I have a nice little pocket area here for my little knight to sit in, I'm going to actually reverse all of this out. So you can kind of, this can be a little tricky, but just don't be worried to kind of pop it around. And smush it back down again, and smooth it out so that you get the same shape we had before, but now this top section's all open, which is nice because then we can let our knight ride inside there. So this is sort of a completed little horse shape. with kind of the nice little head and the 4 feet. This actually is just looks like one, so it's a 3-legged horse. But that's the completed piece then for the horse. We put that to the side. We're going to take that other piece of paper we had that's for our knight, and we're going to do the same kind of steps to get to the paparita. So what I want to do is start with that color side facing down. Go ahead and fold my paper in half both ways so that we can do the steps to get towards a blimp space. Then I'm going to fold each of these 4 points into the center. Once you've gotten all 4 of those points into the center, then just make sure, of course, that you've got all of these parts. Let me make sure this is okay here. Yeah, looks good. Okay. Make sure that you can fold everything in half into a nice triangle. Open it up and make sure the other way goes well too. Then go ahead and flip it over, and we're going to take everything that we see here and fold these tips into the center. Do that for all 4 sides here. It's a big rainstorm going on outside. I don't know if you can hear that thunder. Good Lord. So we've gotten all those folded in. Go ahead and flip it over, and we're going to take each of these sides now and fold down. And this is to get the crease we need here. I'm just going to fold all 4 of these down towards the center. And then we're going to open them all up again and then flip it over. Then I'm going to take and open up all of these. I'm just going to choose one of these sides that I want to leave, kind of one of the flaps to leave the way it is. Open the other 3. We're going to use the creases that we've got here to kind of smoosh everything together. First, I can just look at the sides. If I pinch here down, then I should get this nice little part that comes together in the middle. I want to make sure this tip, again, gets popped around so it's included and gets pushed down instead of up. Bring these sides together. Put a little pressure right there in the middle. Make sure these pinch down. Smooth this part out and get this part to smooth out as well. There's a lot of ways to do this paparita. This is just one of the ways, but you should wind up with something then that looks like this. Now, to make the knight look a little bit more like a knight or a dude riding a horse, what we want to do is I'm going to take this top little part and we're going to open it up so that when I open it, you can kind of start it here first. I want it to get to a point where it's even, these edges are even with the edge of the paper. So you can kind of start it and tug gently on the paper as you do this to get it to balance out so that you've got a nice even fold with the edge and it's reversed out like so. Then I'm going to take and fold this little corner right here all the way out to the other side. And you're just going to find the point where this crease happens between, it's going to be a little diagonal crease that's going to happen right through here. We just want to know, get a little pinch there even started, bring that tip over to the other side, and once you find that, then press down over here. And that'll give us the crease we need. Now I've got that crease, it's going to help me out with the next step. What we're going to do is if you kind of pinch up there on the head area, we're going to open all this up, and I want to push all of this up, and it's going to use those creases there to create a new space. So it pushes all the way up to the head there, and then push down. And you should get this nice little arms kind of sticking out here, and then the legs of the knight and his head kind of bent down. So that's the finished knight, and then you just put him here, and what we can do is just, I can go ahead and slide this part that you see here right inside, and you could choose where you want it to be. It doesn't really matter where, but we're just choose a pocket there, and then let his legs rest out on top, and that gives you this cool light, kind of like effect of the hand resting on the mane, the legs hanging down the side of the horse, and the head kind of leaned forward, if you will. And that should give you your completed little knight riding a horse, and it stands, which is really cool. So that sort of gives you the finished piece here. Overall, as a composition with everybody kind of hanging on here, we've got somebody that's about 8.5 centimeters wide and stands about 8.5 centimeters tall. So kind of a cool little project that you can do. But that should give you then the completed little knight riding on a horse. Get that kind of lined up there, good. And that's our finished project for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.